Have you ever noticed that the story of Noah isn't just about a flood? It's about creation coming undone. This is exactly why we take a second pass through Scripture. Most of us read Noah's Ark as a children's story, or maybe just a story about God's judgment, but the original audience would have recognized something much bigger. They would have realized they were watching Genesis 1 happen in reverse. In Genesis 1, the world begins covered in chaotic waters. There is no order, no boundaries, no place for life. Then God begins creating, not by making more matter, but by bringing order to chaos. He separates light from darkness. He separates the waters above from the waters below. He gathers the seas so dry land can appear. He establishes the seasons. He fills the world with life and appoints humanity to rule as his image bearers. Creation is God turning chaos into a world where life can flourish. But by Genesis 6, humanity has undone everything. Violence fills the earth. The people who were supposed to spread Eden have spread chaos instead. So what does God do? He doesn't simply send rain. He allows creation to collapse back into its pre-creation state. Genesis 7, verse 11 says, "The fountains of the deep burst open, and the windows of heaven were opened." Think about that. In Genesis 1, God separated those waters. Now he reunites them. The boundaries disappear. Dry land vanishes beneath the sea. The ordered world returns to the watery chaos of Genesis 1. This isn't just destruction, it's decreation. But God doesn't abandon his plan. The ark becomes a miniature creation. Inside are humans, animals, and food, everything needed for a new beginning. Then comes one of the most beautiful verses in the story. Genesis 8 says, "God caused a wind to pass over the earth." The Hebrew word is ruach. It can mean wind, breath, or spirit. In Genesis 1, God's spirit hovered over the waters. Now, after the flood, God's ruach moves over the waters once again. Creation is beginning all over again. The waters recede. Dry land appears. Noah steps onto a renewed earth. God tells him the exact words he once spoke to Adam: "Be fruitful and multiply." Noah isn't just surviving a flood. He's becoming a new Adam in a new creation. Then comes one final clue that many of us miss. Genesis 8 verse 22 says, "While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease." Old Testament scholar John Walton points out that this mirrors Genesis 1, but in reverse. Seed time and harvest point back to the creation of vegetation. Summer and winter recall the establishment of seasons. Day and night take us all the way back to the very first day of creation. It's God's way of announcing, creation has been restored. And once you see this pattern, you'll notice it everywhere. The Exodus is another new creation through water. Jesus' resurrection is the beginning of the new creation, and Revelation ends where Genesis began, with God dwelling with humanity in a restored Eden. The Bible isn't a collection of disconnected stories. It's one unified story of God bringing order from chaos, again and again, until one day, he makes all things new. That's the kind of connection you only notice on the second pass.